Welcome, guys. We're doing a different video today. We're going to compare progressive leasing. I've seen a lot of things out there about progressive leasing being a scam, a ripoff, and all sorts of stuff. And my own experience with progressive leasing has not been that at all. In fact, we're going to compare progressive leasing versus using a credit card. When would you use progressive leasing? It doesn't require you have any credit. You just basically send in your paycheck stubs and tell them how much you make, and they give you an amount they can finance you for. It could be thousands, it could be hundreds. It depends basically on how much you can afford to pay. Right? And they have a algorithm that goes through and does that. First of all, this is a map of progressive leasing, and these are the places where progressive leasing is accepted. You can see some of the places that we have on this map are 10 plus, whatever. So they do like mattresses and furniture and phones, tires, body shops, rims, wheels, suspension. They do Lowe's, Home Depot, Bike Barn, jewelry, Big Lots, and Best Buy. I think they have some contracts with Walmart as well. It just depends on where the area is and if the store's participating or not. Depends on whether progressive leasing is accepted there or not. So, what is progressive leasing? Progressive leasing is kind of like a rent to own. All right, you get a contract, much like this contract here that I got. I used it recently to purchase this computer that was $730. It's gonna round this up. And my 90-day purchase plan was $809. Okay. So first we're going to talk about, when you're using progressive leasing, if you can't stick to this 90 days, then yes, it becomes kind of a ripoff, right? Because I'm paying $79 at 90 days. But, if we look at the credit card interest, the average interest is about 19%. So whenever we plug that in on the price of the computer, we end up with $36, right? Well, I ended up paying $79. Correct? So I paid $43 more than I would have if I'd have put this on a credit card. Well, for the credit card, for me, it was, do I want to get a Best Buy credit card? Do I want to get, do I want to expand my balances by that much? Because I keep my balance around 30% because that gives me the best, 30% or lower gives you the best credit score. Do I want an inquiry on my account? Do I want a new account? Things like that. And the times that you would use progressive leasing is say here, maybe you have great credit and you come in here and you want this $1,200 washer, right? You don't have $1,200 on you to just throw down. And maybe you don't want to screw your credit up by throwing it on a credit card. So instead, what you would do is just pay them 10% of this price and they would finance the rest over a year. You'd have a 90-day payment option. And if you make that 90-day payment option, then no, you don't really pay that much more than you would with a credit card. I mean, just the bottom line. But obviously, if you had the money on your credit card, it's a better option. It's a better route. You're going to save money. You're going to save more money. All right? So there's no disputing that. What I'm disputing here is that when people are talking about errands and Rent-A-Center and cons and going there and paying a lower whatever, you're not paying a lower. So let's take this computer for instance. It's $730, right? 808 is my 90-day payoff. But let's say that for some stupid reason I didn't pay it off in 90 days, which I did. Well, if I didn't pay it off in 90 days, then I would end up having to pay $604.65. We say, wow, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. So if we go and we look at the computer I purchased, here it is right here. It's $749 right now. I actually got the 500 gigabyte SSD, which would have made this about $20 to $30 more. So I actually got a really good price on it whenever I bought it. And I got it from Best Buy. The price is actually a lot higher now. And this is an Asus. It's got the 1650, 8 gigabytes. It's a pretty good gaming computer. It's not top of the line, but it's good. All right, so now if we go over here to Rent-A-Center, their same as cash price is $1,500, $1,553. Okay, so if we go back to progressive leasing and look at our contract, that's not that much more at all. It's like $70 more, right? And this is for the 12-month. This isn't the same as cash price. Okay. So if we go back and we look, what is their 12-month cost to own? $2,500 for this computer. It's incredible. And the deal is that so if you say, well, that one costs 2.5 times, you're right. But that's because Rent-A-Center is charging you 4 times as much. They just put the first 2%, 2 times inside of the computer itself. And I'm going to show you this right now, because if we go and we look at Walmart, this computer is $879 at Walmart right now. That's no sale or anything. So you could get this computer cash price $880. Okay, Rent-A-Center is charging you already double that for the 90-day option. Okay, so we do 8 and we look at this, we're triple that. Okay, for just whatever. So you pay a lot more going to Rent-A-Centers, Cons, and Aaron's, because they lie to you. They build the price increase inside of the actual item you're buying. You may feel like, oh, well, I ended up paying $1,000 more, but you didn't. You ended up paying a ton of money for that computer. Whereas Progressive Leasing, the reason why they can't do that is because the cash price is decided by the company you go to. So if Best Buy says this computer is $729.98, well, that's it. That's where they go. That's where they start their interest rate. That's where you get this price. That's where you get this price. Now, if you bought, since these computers are comparable in price, if you paid this off in 90 days, you would pay almost the price you would for the same computer. Actually, the one that I have, I think, is much better. It's an Asus versus an Acer. Okay, but we won't get into that topic right now. So you would pay the same price in 90 days as you would 1 year of paying on that computer here. And the reason, again, why, in case you guys didn't catch this, is because the cash price for this computer is $1,553, when the actual price of this computer is $880. Okay, so they've almost doubled it right off the bat. Right off the bat, you're paying double. So I would say, if you're going to go with the leasing option and you don't want to use credit, Progressive Leasing is absolutely the best option you can have. You look at my payments per month, I'm looking at $127 a month, so $63.57 every 2 weeks. Okay, that's reasonable. That is very, very reasonable. If we go over here, they say it's $34.99 per week for 100 billion years, basically, I guess. Not sure. But yeah, and then by the time you pay this thing off, this computer is going to be absolutely worthless. Not only will you have paid them that much money, right, but you're going to have a device that is way out of date. It's unusable, all right? So Progressive Leasing caps their leasing at 1 year. And you can decide, whenever you pay it off. Well, here's the thing, is that if you don't pay this in the 90 days, and this is the price you're paying, but it's the same thing for Rent-A-Center. If you don't pay it in the 90 days, then that almost $1,000 more than this is the price you're paying for a computer that's very comparable in price. It's only $150 more. So whenever you break it down, either way you look at it, Progressive Leasing is superior to Aaron's, it's superior to Cons, and it's superior to Rent-A-Center. And the reason why it's superior, again, is because they can't build in the cost increase. Okay? They can't put that into the price because the actual retailer is going to enter in what the price of the device is. They're basically just getting the interest off of you. Now, it's the same concept as that you rent to own this. And you got to understand, if you're missing your payments and your month's late, they're going to come after their property and they're going to get it. Right? But you can call and work with them. And I would say that you could call and work with Aaron's, and you could definitely work with Cons. Cons doesn't normally come and pick up its stuff. All right. Progressive Leasing works with Cons. But if you go through Cons' own little in-house thing, They're just going to murder your credit. They don't actually come and pick it up, as from what I understand. As long as you've paid a certain amount, I believe they don't. Aaron's, on the other hand, will come and pick up their stuff, and they'll threaten you with loss and all that other stuff. Or sometimes they'll just write it off as well. Rent-A-Center, on the other hand, if you're late for 1 week and you haven't talked to somebody, you're gonna have guys banging at your door, basically like they're the police department, and they're gonna insist that they have the right to come in and repossess their property immediately because you signed a contract, as if there's some kind of bounty hunter or something that can just come in and do whatever they want. And they're very ruthless with the way that they do things. And from what I understand, Rent-A-Center does not work with people very well. They may give you a week. They may give you 2 weeks. They're not going to say, oh, you can make 2 or 3 months payment next month or whatever. They don't do that. All right. There's no leeway at all. Whereas Progressive Leasing, from what I understand, I've never been late. I've only used them twice now. But from what I understand, there's leeway in that. You can call and talk to them and set up, a double deductible next month. So you're instead of paying the $63, you're paying, the $127 per week or whatever, and they'll work with you on that. But you got to contact them and you got to let them know what's going on. So basically, when it all boils down, we're looking at a computer right here that is $749. I got it for $730. I also got a better computer because mine was a 500 gigabyte again. Okay, and in the end, what I ended up paying for that computer was $809. That's not bad, $79 over. And again, if we compare that to the credit card, that's only $43 more than I would have if I'd have thrown it on a credit card. Whenever we go and we look at Aaron's, you have an $880 computer here, which is, nice, but it's probably overpriced, actually, but whatever. Even though it's 17.3, this computer should not be the same, worth more than this one. It's just the bottom line. But let's say, okay, well, we're going to pay that. Right off the bat, even if you go in there with cash, this is what you're paying for that computer. And it's just a complete rip-off, guys. So while Progressive Leasing, if you don't pay within the 90 days, is not optimal, if you're going to extend your payments for a year, 2 years, and you want to go to Rent-A-Center and do that, don't. Just go to Progressive Leasing. Your payment might be a little more per month, okay, but you're going to actually be able to live with yourself in the end. You're going to get your device paid off, and you're not going to get murdered by the cost that's built in. Again, if we look at this price versus the other price, you can clearly see the cost of doing business with Rent-A-Center, with Aaron's, and sometimes with Cons, because Cons does also build in that price, especially in their computers, into the device. But Cons is a little better. They like you to get it paid off within a year, 18 months. So they're a little bit better working with you. But yes, Progressive Leasing is not a scam. It is completely viable, and you just need to pay attention to your contract and understand that that 90 days is where you want to go, and every payment you're making is cutting down this 90 days. So whenever I got to my 90 days on this, I ended up paying $404 to pay it off, which wasn't that bad. So thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all take this into consideration. If you have anything to add, go ahead and add it below. But this is my review and all the evidence I have and personal use of using Progressive Leasing. The videos that say that this is, and the reviews that say that this is a ripoff, they're wrong. And I feel like a lot of them are inexperienced buyers who are irresponsible, and they're making all these videos and stuff upset. But the reality is they got a hell of a lot better deal than they thought. And if they would have just made that purchase plan, at 90 days, they would have ended up spending maybe only $40, $20, maybe $100, maybe $150 more than they would have if they would have just put down cash. And not that much more than they would if they would have thrown it on a credit card. Thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe below.